Hey guys, welcome back to another PubG Mobile video. Today, we're going to talk about where to drop. I know that every map is a little bit different, but over the last year that I've been playing this game, I have definitely developed some ideas as to where to go, why to go certain places. If you're feeling, it depends on potentially how you're feeling that day or what you're wanting to accomplish during the game. So I'm going to jump in to a classic. I'm just going to go Aaron Gall to start. I'm going to duos, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what my thoughts are on this. Be right back. This is taking forever. Oh my gosh, we finally made it. Alright, when you're standing in the lobby like this, you can survey your map. Now, as you can see, we've got a pretty straight route going across the map like this. There are certain points that you've probably established, military base being one of them, school being another, sometimes the hospital, sometimes places like prison. These are all places that are really busy all the time. Now, a lot of it will depend on where the line is going. So right now, the school is probably going to be less busy than a place like Pachinki is. Pachinki, because that line goes straight over the top, you're going to drop straight into quite a few people. Now, it depends on what you want to accomplish. So, for me, today on this game, I tend to drop military base, I tend to drop Pachinki or school, sometimes the hospital, if I'm really wanting to have a high potential for a high kill game. I'm wanting to land somewhere where there's a lot of people, I want to get to the ground quick, and I want to get a weapon as fast as I can and try to get as many kills as possible. If I'm wanting to increase my level, maybe during possibly like my ranking, so if I want to go from silver, if I have like one game I want to get from silver to gold, or from gold to platinum, or platinum to diamond, whatever it is, I might not choose a place like Pachinki. I might choose somewhere like the quarry, or somewhere off of the path, because I don't want to die instantly. I want to have a better possibility, a better chance of making it to the end game. So that's going to be mainly my thought process. Now, most of the time, I am really wanting to get as many kills as possible. I'm wanting to see as many people as I can. Now, this isn't a perfect rule all the time, but a lot of times you're going to see quite a few people. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's probably 4 to 6 people that are going to be landing here. So as you can see, this guy's landed on the roof. I'm landing on the roof as well. There's quite a few people around. And so it's pretty busy. Now, I'll turn up my volume a bit. Now, it all depends on the goal you have, as I said before. So if you're someone who is wanting to have more kills and wanting to try to up your KD or whatever it might be, then I would do exactly this. I would land in a hot, we call them hot drops, and I would try to get to the ground as fast as you possibly can. And then what I would do is I would just try to find a gun and pray that you were the first one to the ground. If you're somebody who is wanting to play a more casual game and not really wanting the stress of tons and tons of people, I would recommend picking a place off the path to start, but also make sure you're not picking a place that you know is high traffic. Sometimes waiting until the plane also is lower on, like it'll say the number of people in the plane. Sometimes if you're really wanting a hot drop, it's a really good idea to keep an eye on that number, and if it starts going down really quickly, that would be the time to jump out of the plane and try to head for whatever city you just passed, because there's probably going to be quite a few people there. So I'll just exit out of that round to show you an example. So that would be kind of an example of a hot drop where you're going right down into the middle of everything. I'm not going to probably play through these games. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about this. Another strategy that you can do, I've noticed that when I'm dropping, it's really, really difficult. If you are wanting a place like Mansion on this route, that's going to be a very difficult jump because you're going to be really, really far away. You want to pick a location which is within, from my personal experience, within 1,200 meters. I don't think that I've ever been able to jump much past that. You might be able to get 13 or 14 if you're like an absolute beast at it, but it's really, really difficult. So on this path right here, same locations that I know are hot. Now, why wouldn't I drop to something like, let me zoom in, like there's all these little patches of houses and things. You could land in places like that, but a lot of times those places are not going to have nearly the loot that you're looking for. And so I personally don't drop to those. I tend to try to land somewhere where you're going to need, where you know you're going to find something. So for right now, I'm going to try to get to Quarry, and we're going to see how far Quarry is. And I'm going to try to get over there. And I'll show you kind of another thing that I've learned, at least in the times that I've jumped. Now, you can see up here at the very, very top, my waypoint says 2,000 meters. So that is going to be a very, very long jump, and I'll show you why these kinds of places are not a good idea. So if you look at the kilometers, what I've done is I've lined up my character with that waypoint, and it stops descending at 126 kilometers per hour. Now if I were to pull down, that number would start going up. You can see in a second. See? So right here I'm coasting and gliding. Now some people turn sideways like this to try to get the maximum amount of drop, but as you're going to see, I'm still 700 meters away. So that's around 1,300 meters that I just fell. Now, one technique that I've learned is you can do this, push forward. I'm pushing forward with my left thumb, little by little, to try to like ease my way out. But as you can see, I'm not going to make it to my waypoint. I got close, but I'm not going to make it. So the reason that this is important is if you're someone who is trying to get to a far off point, you're going to be potentially the last one to the ground, because someone might have jumped in a car and come this direction because they know that there's good loot at the quarry. Probably not the quarry, but if you were thinking like Pachinki and you were doing the same thing, you might be in a situation where people are on the ground already. So the biggest thing for me is knowing your locations. So dropping on maps enough to know, okay, where do I want to, what do I feel like doing today in the game? Do I feel like having a really, really frantic, high pace experience where I'm going to potentially die quickly, but I might also win out and have, 5 to 10 kills? Or am I going to play it a little bit slower, and am I going to try to stay alive longer? Now, I don't favor that play style as much. I would prefer, in most cases, to be on the ground first and try to clean up and try to get to a higher kill count quicker. But everyone plays a little differently. What I've done here is I've done more of a safe drop. So obviously I demonstrated that you're not going to probably make your location if it's past 12 or 1,300 meters. There's a pretty good possibility that you're not going to make that. But this is another example of what you can do. So in this example, you can drop, and then you can try to find a vehicle, obviously, and you can go to the location that you're thinking. Now, there are positives and negatives to this strategy. A lot of times people might, we did the same thing. A lot of times people might already be on the ground. They might already be in a situation where they have gathered all of the loot for the given place you want to go. Now that puts you in a situation where you're going to be showing up late and you're going to be potentially getting shot at. So I like this strategy sometimes, but I think I'd rather be the first one on the ground in any given case. See if we can find places that haven't been looted. And a lot of times your strongest players this is another side note, a lot of times your strongest players in the game are most likely going to drop on the busiest location. So if you're at the home screen, there's somebody coming. If you're at the home screen and you're waiting on, when you're waiting on the plane, and you notice that there's a lot of people with banners over their character, like maybe banners that say like Ace, or banners that say Conqueror, or things like that, there's a pretty good chance that those are going to be players that are going to drop into those really, really hot locations. And a lot of times those guys are going to be pretty accurate, pretty quick, and they're probably going to make you rage. So if you're seeing a lot of those people early on in the season especially, I would recommend dropping in a place like what we did and just staying out of those locations if you're not interested in facing off against those people. But the best way to get better is to practice, and so it's a good thought. It's definitely a good practice. It's definitely good practice to drop in those locations and really go after it as quickly as you can, because it forces you to, let me get in here real quick. It forces you to grow. The TDM team deathmatch will also do that. It allows you opportunities to get quicker, and it allows you opportunities to work on your response time and things like that. Now, I'm not an expert on those things necessarily, but I do know that in the time that I've played this game, I've gotten a whole lot better by dropping into hot locations, into locations where there's a lot of players. Another thing to consider is, are you playing with friends? Are you playing solos? I think that was somebody else's car. Are you playing solos? If so, you're going to have to take care of yourself, and you're not going to have any lives. Are you playing with people that you know, or are you playing with people you don't know? These are things to consider with where you're dropping, because like with this guy, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he's even a real player or not. I would assume he is. I don't know what he's doing right now, but I don't know what you're doing. But if I'm on voice with a friend, then I'll have a lot more strategy, and it'll probably make more sense for me to do more aggressive drops. If you want to get to the ground as fast as you possibly can, jump out of the plane and point yourself straight down, because that'll get you maximum velocity in the game, and you'll get to the ground faster than anyone else, unless they jumped out a little bit quicker than you or something. Well, guys, thanks so much for watching. If this is the sort of video that is helpful, leave a like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and check out my other videos. I'm going to put this one in a different playlist, because I'm going to consider this kind of like a tutorial instead of actual gameplay, because I really wasn't focusing on actually playing as much as I was trying to explain. So if you'd like more content like this, make sure that you leave a like or a comment or do something like that. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.